Not everything is written in the stars. There are those unsure, those who are afraid, and there are the ones there to corrupt. But believe it or not, everything that comes from love is a miracle. He had loved before, or at least he thought he had. It was an obsession. It was a knowing, a truth woven into his soul, something beyond reason. When he was with her, he felt invincible, and his life felt beautiful. The weight of his duties, the expectations of his people, the very earth beneath his feet, none of it mattered when she looked at him. And when she smiled, nothing made him happier. He remembered their stolen moments in the wild places between their villages. The way she laughed. He saw her worries melt when she was with him. He saw her guard lower, piece by piece, until she was only herself, unburdened by the rules of her people, the expectations she had always known. They talked about things no one else would understand. He told her of the wind spirits his people worshipped, of the great birds that carried the souls of the dead to the sky. She told him of the river that flowed through her village, the way her people believed it held the memories of their ancestors. They whispered about the stars and wondered what lay beyond them. They held hands, not just for comfort, but for the sheer need to feel connected, to remind themselves that this, what they had, was real. There was the night he kissed her. It was just after it had rained. She had shivered, and he had reached for her, his fingers brushing against hers before cupping her cheek. A slow, aching press of lips, a collision of everything that had been holding back. It felt like time was still, and there was a promise neither of them had spoken, but both had already made in their hearts. And when she kissed him back, when she clung to him as if the world might tear them apart, he knew there was no going back. Little did they know, that was exactly what was to come. He had been careless, too caught up in the joy of it all. He didn't see the eyes watching from the trees, the silent figures slipping back to her village with poison in their hearts. They came for him the next evening. 5 men from her tribe, warriors with cold, hardened stares. He didn't run. He only listened as they surrounded him. "You will not see her again. She is not yours to take. She belongs to us, not to an outsider. If we see you near her again, we will cut you down where you stand." They didn't need to tell him what they had done to others before him. He could see it in their eyes. He could hear it in the sharpness of their voices. He knew what they were capable of. She met him one last time, standing in the place where they had first spoken, where she had first looked at him as more than just a stranger. But tonight, her eyes were not soft. They were sharp and cold. "This is over," she said. He frowned, stepping closer, but she took a step back. "I don't love you," she continued, her voice steady, even as she felt herself breaking apart inside. "I never did. I was foolish, and so were you. Whatever this was, it's over. He didn't speak. He only stared at her, as if searching for something, as if waiting for her to break and take it all back. She didn't. She turned and walked away, and she didn't look back. In the quiet stillness of the night, he stood under the stars. The air was cool, the gentle breeze moving through the trees. But all he could feel was the crushing weight of her words. He had loved her for what felt like an eternity. His heart laid bare before her, trusting that their bond was strong enough to endure. But her gaze was distant, cold, and her voice was certain. "I don't love you," she said, the words cutting through him like shards of glass. "I never have." His heart broke in that moment, the pain unbearable, as if the very life force within him was being torn away. He stood there, unable to move. In the depths of that agony, a desperate thought surfaced. His mind whispered in the darkness, aching to escape the endless suffering. "I can't live like this," he thought to himself, barely able to hold on to the fragments of his broken heart. "Take this pain away." And in that desperate moment of longing to escape, to rid himself of the unbearable weight of that love unreturned, he made a vow. His voice trembled. "I will do anything. Please, please take this pain from me. I cannot bear it." The words echoed in the stillness of the forest, and the vow took root within him. The earth seemed to tremble with the weight of it, the stars above witnessing the birth of a new destiny. And he closed his eyes. The agony faded, and his body began to change. Be it God, a spirit, or even magic perhaps, he did not know. But he was no longer a man. He now outstretched his wings in bird form. He was an owl now, and his memories of a man were gone. Through the night, he silently flew through the forest trees. He had no past, only the sky, and the endless woods before him. There was only one thing within him, an instinct that guided him towards a single light in the sky. Each night, when it was dark and silent, the owl would rest upon the tallest trees, his sharp eyes always searching for that one unwavering star. It called to him in a way he did not know. It was not the brightest star in the sky, but he stayed with it. Wherever he traveled, it was always there, glowing softly above, offering a sense of direction. One stormy night, the wind howled through the tall pines. The owl fought against it, his wings straining, his body pushed and pulled by the furious currents. The cold bit into him and weighed down his wings. But then, there, a faint glimmer through the storm, the star. Through the chaos, it shone, small, but still there. A whisper of light in the vast, merciless night. He beat his wings harder, pushed forward, following the glow as it flickered, as if urging him onward. The stronger he fought, the brighter it seemed to grow, until at last the storm began to break, and there he found shelter. A deep crevice within the cliffs, hidden from the winds and the cold. He tucked his head beneath his wing. His golden eyes turned upwards one last time, gazing at the star that had saved him. 20 years passed, and the owl, now an old creature, nestled into his cozy tree. His feathers graying and his wings heavy with the weight of time. He was at peace, ready to leave the earth behind. His final breath was soft, and his body settled deeper into the tree. Even through death, a new life begins. He then was reborn a boy, a child born into a new world. He grew up in happiness, surrounded by love and the joy of life. Each day he grew wiser and strong until he was a man again, and something inside of him began to take root. No matter how perfect his life seemed, there was a void, an emptiness inside his heart that he couldn't name. He felt it deep within his soul, an ache he couldn't explain. One night, he looked up at the star, the same star that had guided him in another life. "What is this feeling inside me? What am I missing?" he asked. The star above him shone brighter, its light piercing through the darkness, but it seemed to do nothing more than shine. And then it happened. Memories began to surface, small at first, fragments of a past life. He saw the tribes, the mountains, the soaring flight of his owl form. And her. He saw her face, soft and loving, and a sorrow filled his chest. The memories flooded back with such intensity that he could barely breathe. He knew then that he had lived before as a man, and that somehow, somewhere, she was lost to him. Determined to understand, he set off across the world, searching for answers. He sought out the tribes, but they were gone, scattered, forgotten as if they never had existed. He built a home for himself, nestled deep within the woods. He spent his days in peaceful solitude. The fire burned softly in his hearth, and the sound of the wind through the trees was a constant companion. The life he had chosen was simple, but it was his. Yet even in the solitude, there was a part of him that could not forget the memories of his past lives, his life as an owl, and the love he had shared with her. He remembered his pain and often wondered why his memories came back to him. And even though it hurt, he almost felt grateful to have them back. After all, to know her and love her felt natural to him, even if she never felt the same. One night, he looked up at the sky. The stars flickered with a strange intensity. The same star that had once guided him, that had watched over him in another form, now seemed to burn brighter than ever. He watched, mesmerized, as it shone with a fierce light. It illuminated the entire sky before it burned, disintegrating before his eyes. He stood frozen, unsure of what he was witnessing. He moved, following the path the star had left. He pushed through the underbrush, his heart pounding in his chest. And there, in the clearing where the star had fallen, he found her. Just as he had remembered, her hair, the same it has been in another life. Her eyes full of wonder, though they held no recognition of him. She was there in front of him, and yet she knew nothing. She looked at him, confusion in her gaze, as if trying to make sense of him and the world around her. She didn't remember anything, not him, not the tribes, not the love they had shared. He knelt beside her, patient and careful. He offered comfort in the only way he knew. He took her hand gently, speaking softly to her. He tried to make her feel safe in a world that was foreign to her. But inside, he was torn. Seeing her alive and yet so distant was a bittersweet ache in his chest. It was as though the years had folded back upon themselves, the love they had shared still pulsing within him, but now warped in the strange, painful distance between them. As the days passed, she began to remember. First it was small things, fragments of her tribe, the land, the way they had once lived. Slowly, the memories trickled back, but with them came fear. Fear of the unknown, fear of what it all meant. One evening, she pulled away from him, her eyes wide with terror. "I have to go," she whispered, her voice trembling. "I need to see for myself." He didn't try to stop her. He couldn't. He knew he couldn't force her to remember or to stay. He watched her disappear into the woods, the same way she had once vanished from his life. Weeks later, she returned. When she came back, she was different. She was calm, and she spoke to him, her voice steady and clear. She told him everything. She remembered now. The tribes, the lives they shared, and the pain they had both suffered. He told her the night he wished for the pain to be taken away, and how he had lived as the owl. How he remembered the look she gave him, the day everything fell apart. She lowered her head, and fresh tears fell. "I lied," she said. "I didn't know how else to protect you. If I didn't, my people would have killed you. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry I caused you such pain." She continued. "That night, I left you. I made the same wish," she said. "I don't know how it happened, but I became the star." She spoke of her wish, a way to escape the pain, to take it away. She wished to be free of it, just as he had. "But I never stopped loving you." He listened, his heart swelling with emotion. Their love had transcended time, and though it had been filled with pain and separation, it had never faded. They held hands and understood that both had written a vow to their hearts to be together, to spend lifetimes in whatever form. Their bond seemed to deepen, an understanding between them through the experiences they both shared. They were together again, free from pain, free from their people, and free to love, forever, in many and all lifetimes.